Okay, the question is that the motion be agreed to. I call the member for Bendigo.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Is this the same Royal Commission that Dyson Hayden was the Commissioner for? And is it the same Dyson Hayden who was the guest speaker at a Liberal Party fundraiser during the time in which he was the Commissioner for the Royal Commission into Trade Unions? Let's just be honest here when we're talking about party donations and party fundraisers. This particular Royal Commission was nothing but a witch hunt, and the person in charge of the witch hunt was nothing but a stooge for the Liberal Party, in fact was going to be the guest speaker at a Liberal Party fundraiser, where all monies raised were going straight back to the Liberal Party. So before we listen to those opposite, let's just set the record straight about what the disgraceful Royal Commission seek to do. It was nothing but trying to tear down political opponents, and that's all we've seen from those opposite. In the contributions just made by the previous speaker, there was no mention of employers who do the wrong thing, no mention of the fact that every single day there are employers in our community that don't pay workers, that rip off workers, that don't pay super, no mention or condemnation of the fact that every single day there are 457 visa workers in this country being underpaid or not employed in the job by which they were brought here. In fact, there's been a Fair Work Ombudsman report to expose that 1 in 4 457 visa workers in this country are working here on rates of pay that undercut Australian wages. Where is the government's condemnation of those employers? No, instead they seek once again to bash unions. That's all they seem to be left with doing, bashing unions and bashing workers. Let's also set the record straight about penalty rates. This government and these members of the Liberal Party ignore the fact that when you collectively bargain, your agreement must pass a better off overall test. Sure, the workers may trade for a lower Sunday rate because they get a higher Monday to Friday rate. Now have a chat to your small businesses and your electorate and see if they want to pay a higher Monday to Friday rate. They very quickly go quiet when you talk to them about the fact if they want an agreement that reduces Sunday penalty rates, they have to trade it off and increase the rates of pay Monday to Friday. The workers that were mentioned previously, that is exactly what happened, a higher base rate. And whilst they talk about secret payments, they're not secret payments, they're union membership fees. There was something called a payroll deduction, where workers signed up to a union and they said, yes, I authorise the employee to deduct my union dues and pass it on to the union. There's nothing secret about that. It's been happening for over 100 years here in Australia. Workers saying, yes, I'm proud to join my union, and if the employer is able to do so, deduct the fee and pass it on to my union. Payroll deduction is not a secret and it's nothing new. And just to highlight how ridiculous this government is and their ludicrous laws, we can go no further than the comments made by Justice Tony North just last week about the Turnbull Government's Australian Building and Construction Commission. He said, and I quote, "For goodness sake, I don't know what this inspectorate is doing. I must say it's a terrible waste of everybody's time." What caused such an outcry from Justice North is the fact that this government took 2 CFMEU officials to court for having a cup of tea. You'd think they'd have more important issues on their hand than prosecuting CFMEU officials for having a cup of tea. Another example of how this government is just purely and simply going after their political opponents. That is the assault on our democracy. This government trying to tear down a Labor movement that has existed in this country longer than their political party. They're using our judicial system, they're using our parliament and any means by they can to attack their opponents. This is not Cambodia. This is not a country which struggles with democracy. We have strong foundations of democracy in this country, yet all we've seen by those opposite, whether it be the ABCC, the Royal Commission into Trade Unions or the Registered Organisations legislation, nothing but a way to tear down our democracy. I am proud to say that I'm a unionist, and I am proud each and every day to be a unionist. They stand up for working people to make sure working people's rights are protected, particularly against this government.
Thank the member for Bendigo.